Okay, so we're back with a new episode of the Why So Blue podcast. We've been absent for a little while, doing a little reflecting, finding ourselves. But we're back, and we're going to be talking about some new stuff. We're not going to recap anything, just keep it current. But we're going to do a little roundtable, see who's here, a couple new faces. I'm Shohan.
I'm Erica.
I'm Jared.
Jordan. This is Wes.
Bill.
I'm Ellen.
Yeah. That is Jordan's phone. We're going to get it started. We're going to start talking about Doctor Strange. Some things we want to see, things we really don't want to see. First of all, I've never been a fan of magic in movies in general, and I'm hoping that they explain why magic is in this world of quote-unquote realism.
You don't like magic?
Not really,
Now
no.
you see me?
No, not at all. I have no patience for it.
Houdini?
Well, Houdini, like sleight of hand, I can get down with
What
that.
about Lord of the Rings?
No, I don't like it.
What about Harry Potter?
Well, I like The Hobbit. No, I don't like it. Harry Potter.
You like the Hobbit or Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I like
Hobbits
Smaug.
are terrible.
Smaug.
That's not
Mind blowing.
I didn't see the
He watches them once a month.
like Star Wars.
Absolutely. That's not magic, though.
Imagine that.
It's not magic.
They call
It's
him
like a type of
sorcerer.
magic.
Yeah,
It's like
it's kind of magic.
Well, it's defined magic.
It's like David Blaine.
Yeah.
See, like, yeah. Anyway.
Like Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Fucking imagine that.
Dude, there's freaking trolls in there.
I actually agree with Sean. I've never found a lot of joy in like casting spells and
Yeah.
stuff on my own and in films. No, I think it may have been that weird what was Mazes and Monsters, that Tom Hanks movie where it was like a D&D
I don't know.
game.
Yeah.
Like someone got killed in it. I think that kind of ruined it for me when I was a kid. No, Tom Hanks. It was like
Oh, I'm
Tom
sorry.
Hanks
I
is
was
called
Mazes
Tom
and
Hanks.
Monsters or something. But
Well, studio audience, what do you think about that?
Oh, come on, no.
Okay. What do you think about, or like, are you familiar with Doctor Strange comics? Like,
A little bit, yeah.
so are you okay with those? Like, is that
Yeah.
palatable?
Yeah, I just, because I feel like they grounded in the concept of it's a universal energy that controls, like, reality, and there's, like, there's rules, and things like Harry Potter, it just felt like whoever had the biggest vocabulary was the most powerful.
Okay, but to keep it in the MCU, like, you're cool with people, like, hitting puberty and then suddenly being able to shoot laser beams out of their eyes. Like, that's okay. But reading a spell from a book and being able to, like, teleport is too weird.
You don't
I
like
can
Thor?
read too. I can read too, but I can't levitate things.
You don't like Thor?
I love Thor.
Thor's
But-
aliens, though.
Yeah, it's another. It's
Well,
it's
whatever.
It's
It's
like
like
technomancy, right?
God.
But he even
Studio
says in the
audience.
first movie, he says, what our world considers science, your world would consider magic.
yeah. So
And he teleports like the Bifrost and all that. It's like
I only
from
saw
a
it
layman's
one time.
point of view.
Sorry. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So you basically need to buy the backstory. There has to be some sort of connection to some kind of real.
Well, some kind of like plausibility other than somebody like thinking really hard and reading a bunch of books, and now they can move through walls. Like that just doesn't work for me. Like going back to what Wes was saying, like mutants. Like if somebody's evolved to the point where their atoms are looser than other people's, then okay, they can move through walls. But if somebody's just reading a freaking book and just hanging out with a bunch of Asian people, that's not enough for me.
Not even Asian.
I got Ellen. Walk us through it.
It's an ancient tribe secret. I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to say anything. I kind of shared it with Tilda Swinton, who's not Asian, but she will have to do it a pinch. I'm excited for the movie, and I think it's going to be nice to open up the MCU to the realms of magic and this mystical aspect of what's going on, because we still have other power stones that we haven't even seen yet, and I feel like Doctor Strange is obviously the vehicle to introduce all of that, and I'm really excited. And I mean, as a side note, we saw Warcraft recently, and if they're basing how they cast spells, visually, it looked really cool. The movie was terrible, but it looked visually really cool. And from the snippets I've seen from the trailer, I'm really excited about it. But I can see the point of view where it just, especially introducing it so late in the MCU, is just like, where's the explanation for why is this not showing up sooner?
Yeah.
Were there instances? I can definitely see poke the holes in it.
But there could have been some sort of spell to like shroud everyone's
Spell.
their memory of it. The Men in Black can spare it.
What I like too is like, you know, the source material, the comics and stuff. Characters in that don't like Doctor Strange's magic or just magic in general. Like they constantly like kind of harp on it. Like he's not the only one. There's a couple practitioners. There's a character named Magic, and then
Right.
and a few others. But yeah, like whenever they're dealing with like the Fantastic Four, X-Men, they're just like, oh, it's the magic guys. Like you know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of his name. He's the weirdo. Like,
Yeah.
he's like going through dimensions and stuff. And I like, from what I've seen of the trailer, like it seems more like it's like this bizarre, non-linear, like existential journey, which is something we haven't seen before in comic books. And I think it'll be really fresh and interesting, even if the plot is just total chaos. I think visually it'll be really cool. What we're seeing on screen.
Yeah, it's got a lot of potential, and I'm not harping on or downplaying anything. I'm just hoping for the best. Our fearless leader, Mr. Brian White, he said he wasn't able to be here today. He said, "I'm not a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan, so just hoping for something good, not too fantastical, but hope they find some way to ground it." I don't know. No expectation for this one. The trailer did look intriguing, though. So, I think he's sort of saying what I'm saying, but I am a Cumberbatch fan.
I was gonna say that's kind of surprising because he's got a really strong following, and I'm a fan. I think he does good work, and I think it's really good for the casting too.
Yeah, with little lines he had in the trailer, like, that's dead on.
Yeah.
The accent, no accent, whatever it was. But yeah, and we've got Miss Tilda Swinton doing a little whitewashing action, which I am okay with. For the simple fact that she's a woman, and there aren't really many women in the MCU or in comic book movies so much, so I'm giving them a pass on this one. So,
But there are Asian women actors. But that's
Okay.
also not. I mean, I hear
Not
what
in
you're
my
saying.
America.
yeah, there are tons, and there's no reason that there couldn't have been an Asian person in this role. But I feel like it's the lesser of the two evils. If it was just a white man, it just would have been like, there's another freaking Tony Stark, freaking Steve Rogers.
But isn't it kind of a white man? Like, Tilda Swinton's so androgynous.
It's half of a white man.
She's not, and she's a fantastic actor. I mean, she's
And
great.
that's the other thing. I'm a big fan of hers. I just
Yeah.
think that it was poor casting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel it's kind of stereotypical of what Tilda Swinton does. Like, I mean, honestly, like you said, isn't she kind of androgynous? Yeah, so you don't want Scarlett Johansson or you don't want the
No.
sex kitten, right? So
No, you almost
throw
terrifying
her in
person
there,
on it.
you know? Tilda Swinton. It would have been nice to see someone new. It would have
Yeah.
been, you know what I mean? Someone we haven't seen or seen a whole lot of.
Yeah. That's kind of the problem that a lot of producers are butting up against. They're like, when people say, well, why don't you just get an Asian guy or a black guy or a Mexican guy or whatever, they're like, well, there aren't any names that can propel the property. And like, the catch-22 there is that you guys own the movie,
Yeah,
so
not
you
giving
know,
them
that's
the
why there aren't any
opportunity.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll never have a chance to have a name.
Well, like Tilda Swinton's name anyway.
That's
It's like, ooh, what, like, 16-year-olds like, Tilda Swinton, we've got to go see that opening night.
Right.
I'm a huge Benjamin Button fan.
But she does have a following, like, among older folks, like 30s to 50s, I think is probably her range. And they'll go see Doctor Strange for that reason.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Honestly, if it was an actual Asian male or female, I think that wouldn't hinge. Someone seen it wouldn't hinge on that. So
Oh, I don't think it would hinge or hinder anything.
Oh.
It's just the producers wanting star power and all that nonsense.
She's not a star.
She is.
She cannot open a movie by herself. She's not a star. She's an actress.
I'm not saying she could open a movie by herself, but she's a name.
She's a name. Like, if the concern is like getting somebody that people are going to recognize and therefore having like star power, Tilda Swinton fills that necessity.
Benedict Cumberbatch is star power.
Yeah.
True, but the more the
Tilda
better.
Swinton?
We're
like,
talking about MCU though. They're gonna just pump as many names as they can
Right.
into every word.
But the other thing is, do they really need a ton of star power? I feel like the MCU at this point has a lot of steam going.
You're absolutely
that
right.
I don't feel like they need to have these huge names to get people in. As soon as they hear it's a Marvel movie, like I could give two win-wins about it. I'll go. I mean, I don't care.
No, you're absolutely right.
You
That's a
know?
really good point.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think Marvel is pursuing these people as these people are pursuing Marvel, because people like Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and a bunch of other Oscar heavyweights have all had meetings with Marvel and Disney at one point or another to get into like Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor 3. Everybody wants in on the superhero stuff right now, so they can.
And I mean, all the white people, we've been in on those meetings. We know what it's like. I mean, we gather once a month.
Yeah, Skype. What was their popularity and presence to us?
Oh yeah. Any final thoughts on Doctor Strange?
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be
excited.
awesome.
I'm excited to see what happens at Comic-Con because
Yep.
Lasselman will be there. They're already lining the streets with posters of Doctor Strange and whatnot, so it's pretty exciting.
That's a good composer behind it.
Was it?
Michael Giacchino.
Oh yeah.
So
Oscar.
one of those movies might have a good score for once.
Like none of them? Not even Captain America? You like Captain America?
What's the theme? Hum it.
Da, 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 da. I've been
He's
singing the
watching
movie
every night, though.
Yeah.
What's
He
another
goes to
theme?
sleep with
Can we
them.
clarify? Another thing.
Moving on.
I was just about to sing it. It's the Avengers thing. Da-da-da, da-da-da,
Yep.
da-da-da-da-da-da.
That is
Wow, that's rousing. I can't speak. Ah, great.
Anyway.
It reminds me of when I'm on the toilet. To speed things along.
Oh dear.
No, I agree. Giacchino's amazing. So
Yeah,
and great. For
Civil War had like the worst score.
it was just all it's just bombast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's serviceable. They're all serviceable, but like
Yeah.
as far as themes, like, but then some composers aren't good.
That's not good.
It's the classic, like,
Yeah.
I used to get Jason Segel and reading Sarah Marshall.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's just like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
tones. Just like, it was
Yeah.
Ominous tones. Yeah.
like- which that like, Green Room, which we just saw, that was all tones.
Yeah, but Green Room isn't a Marvel movie.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Not yet.
Sorry, not yet.
Okay. Alright, so moving
I
on.
digress.
They're not tones, they're atmosphere.
Okay, so Independence Day. Pretty much everybody here has seen it.
It's the worst movie ever made.
Yeah.
I've actually not seen it, so I'm
I
curious
haven't
to
seen it
hear what you have to
I
Oh, yeah.
don't care less.
Oh, it's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, for the last few years, people will be like, Sean, what's the worst movie you've ever seen? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I used
Man
to
of Steel.
whatever. That's delightful. Yeah, it's delightful.
Yeah.
But yeah, Independence Day is it's just bland. It's boring. Like 3/4 in, I found myself thinking about other movies and like running through other movies in my head. Like, oh wait, I'm in a movie right now. And it was, like I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the story. I didn't care about like the effects. There was one moment where they do a flashback. We're gonna spoil it because don't see it. They do a flashback to where bland white guy number 1 and bland black guy number 2 are like having an argument, and then bland white guy goes off and watches like this flashback. Not flashback. It's just like footage of him
Actual footage.
and bland black guy like doing like a dogfight and like practice run in their jets or whatever. And I legitimately thought it was like he was watching like old PlayStation games. Because I played the PlayStation Independence game back in the 90s, and I was like, oh, they're playing the Independence game. No, this is actual CG footage for the movie. It's representing something that happened in the past. And yeah, the effects were bad. I don't even remember what the score sounded like.
No.
It was bad. Anybody else?
I thought it was the prime example of like, okay, the sequel has to be bigger. That was it. They're not bigger and better, but they just stopped at like bigger. And like, because everything was bigger. Like literally, I mean, it was like the ship was so much bigger, and like the queen suit, like having a queen was. Sorry, again, to spoil something.
Don't worry about it. Nobody.
What Aliens did, compared to Alien, like Cameron's Aliens, it's just like we're gonna make it bigger, but definitely not better. And just, and any of the goodwill that you had left over from the first film was just lost. Like in poor filmmaking.
Yeah,
like
if
an
any-
offensively stereotypical character. I mean, just it was real bad.
Well, it seemed like they had the idea for the third movie. There's them like going into space to find the aliens. And like, oh wait, how do we get there though?
Oh, so this is.
We need a bridge
Oh, yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So like
that's
the
a
whole film
franchise.
is set up for a third film, which sounds awesome. And he's like, oh, that's the movie I wanted to see, but we're never gonna get it because number 2 is so bad. They just cobbled it together, just put it together quickly with duct tape. And, like, here we go.
Yeah, its budget was 165 mil and it pulled 144. So
And that's something mainly overseas.
Overseas,
yeah,
right,
'cause
so-
it did not do well.
yeah, it's not very encouraging for a third.
Well, and there's no hook to the movie. Like you watch the trailer and you think, okay, why should I see this? And you look at Jurassic World, and their hook was the park is open. And you look at Force Awakens, and their hook was
Star Wars.
they're all back. All the characters you love, they're back.
Chewie, we're home.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And this one, it was just like it's just like the first one, but bigger.
And
You don't need to see
no
it.
Will Smith.
Yeah, and no one could.
They
Yeah.
really just skate over that whole. And then Vivica A. Fox literally gets dropped into a bit very randomly, and the son spends no time mourning over his mother falling off of an 8-story building into a chasm. Like they don't even go back to address it. It was they took everything that was cool about the first movie and. The only thing they thought about it was we're gonna get people into the theater because they recognize the name and the first one was so good, but nothing was original, nothing was new, all the acting was terrible. The only thing that was cool was Pullman when he shaves and he comes back out. It's like
Like, oh yeah, you aged all right. There's no Quaid.
No.
There's no
Yeah.
Quaid equivalent. So
Well, and also when the first movie came out, we didn't see a lot of movies like that. It was one of the first movies of that.
That first one
Of
was
that kind.
huge.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when it came out, you saw the trailer, and movies of that scale just didn't happen. So it was a huge event. Into 2016, those movies are like every weekend.
That's true.
Yeah. I feel like this is probably the worst Roland Emmerich movie. Like I don't like 2012, but I liked it better than this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk
I'd
about.
watch this over 10,000 BC.
Oh, I never saw that.
Mm.
That seemed like a weird, like Saturday morning cartoon.
And Day After Tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah,
Computer generated wolves, I'm telling you. That's what they at least Independence Day didn't have that.
Well, he did that weird Shakespeare movie.
Is that Shakespeare in Love?
No. He did not do Shakespeare.
You never know.
Shakespeare's Revenge.
No, he did a movie about
Oh, Cusack?
the Shakespeare not really being the author of the plays.
Anonymous.
Yeah, Anonymous. Yeah.
Anonymous,
It was pretty stupid. And then he did last year. What was we got the riots and the controversy because how the homosexual community was depicted.
I don't know. Whether it's
Stonewall.
Oh.
Stonewall. Okay, moving on.
But yeah, like, and also.
I mean, no one's. I didn't see it. No one saw it.
I don't think so. But yeah, I think another big issue was the whole movie took itself like way too seriously, and that was where Will Smith kind of helps because the premise it's an alien invasion movie. That's kind of silly, so you got to kind of poke fun at it. And if everybody is just serious as a heart attack,
But they have Brent Spiner in it, who's like having a blast with it.
he was, but he was in it for like a minute, and like suddenly he was gay and dead.
Pretty big role.
So, oh no, he didn't die.
No,
His
he didn't.
boyfriend died.
Yeah.
This is a big mess. Oh,
Then he has the last line in the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go kick some alien ass. And then it cuts to the credits.
I guess, see, to take it back, I think he was supposed to be like the de facto Randy Quaid character.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, every line I think in the movie was exposition, too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, even from the previous scene, the next scene would just say what just happened. And it's just like, anyways.
And then, Judd Hirsch teamed up with a bunch of, like,
Random
preteens.
children.
And he's like, we gotta go to Area 51. And then he brings them to Area 51 and they start getting chased by a huge alien. It's like, wait, you should have just left them where they were at.
I know, like, that subplot didn't make
They
any
would have
sense.
stayed where they were at. They would be chasing a school bus.
I feel like that was from an earlier draft, and like that may have had something to do with something.
And there were 2 attempts to bring like a rousing Independence Day speech from Bill Pullman, and they both failed. Like
Yeah.
the first time, it was like a dozen people were like, "Oh, is he talking? Oh, I have other things to do right now." And it was just bland and unenthusiastic. And I really can't stand Liam Hemsworth. He's the lesser Hemsworth.
Oh, and then there's that quick cameo by the actor who's in the first one. You just see his face in the crowd. The one who died last year. The actor who died.
The general guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Robert Loggia.
Yeah, Robert Loggia.
Oh,
It like cuts through him.
Yeah.
He's sitting there. "Oh, my pet. What am I doing here?
Who are you?
Oh,
He
yeah.
probably had lines, but he couldn't see.
Don't forget this
Help
all-knowing
me.
ball that shows up at the end of the movie
Oh my gosh.
to assist them. Like, I have a refugee colony on another planet.
Was
Come
he-
with me, and I will show. It's just
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
it was at that point. If they hadn't already lost me, I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go get some licorice. Bye.
Little Apple product there.
And
Right.
What do you call the eyeball?
I'm Robert Loggia.
Terrible.
And I would take her licorice and fashion the noose out of it to hang myself. Sorry.
But yeah, like, and to give
Basically,
going back to the giant ball thing, its backstory
Kickball.
the backstory of its people, they were saying like they
All has
evolved.
people.
Yeah, they said they evolved beyond the point of carbon forms,
Yes, yeah,
and they digitized themselves. And that's not how evolution works. And I don't think any like highly intelligent
That's not how reality works.
Yeah,
like, digital
would be like,
things are
"Oh, I'm just gonna
represented. Like,
put myself in a computer, and that's how I'll experience life.
Steve Jobs disagrees.
And Lawnmower Man.
yeah, right.
Oh, this is,
Oh, God.
Transmetropolitan, the comic, there's a digitized people that like, yeah.
And we're just talking about better movies now. It's all good. Oh, no, it's terrible. So don't see Independence Day, and maybe we'll never see one again. Unless, if they got Will Smith for the third one, would you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like the premise of.
Yeah, I like
Third
this
one.
one.
But he was also. You hear about his new film, Roland Emmerich? It's called like Moon Falling. Is that the moon that's falling to Earth?
Are you
Great
serious?
title.
Melancholia?
Yeah.
That's our Earth.
Fall. The moon is falling to Earth.
Wow, that's terrible.
I think Robert Loggia's.
Oh, God! Okay.
But no, he got like a 6-figure paycheck for the script, and he's gonna direct it, and it's gonna have a great cast. Moon falling.
Moonraker? Moonraper.
Oh God.
Stop it!
Robert, that's not your line.
Alright, moving along.
Just get back to the hospital. he smells.
Alright, Wes.
fuck my teeth.
Get us out of here, Wes.
Yeah,
So, Wes, you got some comics over there. What you reading these days?
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff coming out, and I only brought in like stuff that's pretty current and like people I don't know might be worth checking out. That people might be interested in. First, Mark Millar, sorry, like everything he writes is gold. He can pretty much print money. So, this is the guy that wrote Kick-Ass and Nemesis and
like all of
Wanted,
this stuff is being optioned.
Yeah, no, like as he's writing new stuff, they're already optioning, for what he did. Kingsman was the latest one. So, a while back he came out with Jupiter's Legacy, and it's a superhero story, but it's like a Millar take on it, and his stuff is pretty wild and intense. So it was a fun read. And then he did a prequel to it called Jupiter's Circle, which just ended recently. And with the ending of Jupiter's Circle, he started Jupiter's Legacy 2. So it's now become this like kind of epic where it's generational. You have like you have the origin and parents and then their kids. And so yeah, I mean it's Jupiter's Legacy 2 just came out. It's worth picking up if you wanted to like start fresh with it. And the hook at the end of the first issue is really cool. Like I can't wait for the next one to come out. I will say the end of Jupiter's Circle though was a little disappointing, and I think that he's setting up for more. And it felt a little rushed towards the end, like he was just trying to tie up a lot of loose ends. And it's an ensemble book, so there's a lot of characters and a lot of plots running. And by the last issue of Jupiter's Circle, it was just like we just need everything wrapped up right now. And like I really expect like stellar work from Mark Millar. He always delivers, and like this was, I think, the first example I can think of where I was like, oh, that was like a little disappointing. So,
looking at the cover there, is it like a dissection of the concept of superhero-dom, or is it just a whole,
it's
like a Watchmen kind of
it's
thing?
similar to Watchmen in that they're very human. They have flaws. With Jupiter's Circle, it takes place in the past, so that it was not okay to be a homosexual, right? But there's a homosexual superhero, and like how do you navigate that?
Nice.
And then like infidelity amongst each other, like they're a tight knit group, and like when two people are together and one of them messes around, like that becomes an explosive situation because they have superpowers. And so I really liked Jupiter's Circle for that exploration. When you get to Jupiter's Legacy, and it's like the modern generation, and these like teenagers, these kids are like drunk with crazy powers. I mean, like super, super powerful people, and they're just jaded. I mean, like in Jupiter's Circle, they actually were altruistic and had good intentions. By the time you get to Legacy, they're like rock stars that just have crazy parties and do whatever they want.
Like the New Warriors.
Yeah, and it's just like there's nobody can control them, and so it really goes through a whole change.
It's like generational celebrities.
Yeah, totally. I think that's a good way of looking at it. And Jupiter's Legacy also is being illustrated by Frank Quietly, so awesome. Really, really good.
Jupiter's Circle and Jupiter Legacy?
A Circle is the older generation, and then Legacy 2 just started, and that's the newer generation.
Okay, so Circle then Legacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Legacy is just kicking off, Legacy 2.
Right.
Did you ever read Millar and Quietly's run after Warren Ellis left The Authority?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
oh, man.
It's so, whenever they work together, whenever Quietly does anything.
Yeah, Quietly's incredible. He's got to be one of the best comic artists in the game today. And this book doesn't disappoint. If anything, like I was reading Legacy 2, the first issue, and like noticing that Quietly's work looks better. And like that's hard to imagine, but like it looks stellar. And then the other thing that this just ended was X-Men, the worst X-Men ever.
Okay.
It was written by Max Bemis and illustrated by Michael Walsh. I freaking loved this book and would highly recommend it to people. And the reason I wanted to talk about it today is because like it's not an eye catcher on the shelves. Like it's one that could easily be missed, and that would just be a tragedy because this book rules. It's out of continuity. It's out of so you don't need to have read everything that's been coming out recently to know what's going on here. It's basically a callback to like the X-Men of my youth, and it's really meta, like in that it analyzes what X-Men storytelling is and the flaws in it, and it makes fun of itself. And it's about this kid Bailey, who's the worst X-Man ever. He finds out, like Cerebro marks him when he goes through his evolution and becomes a mutant. And the Xavier School for Gifted Youth, they go and pick him up, and they're like, "You're an X-Men. Like we can come, you can be part of this." And he's stoked. He's thrilled. He's like, "I'm somebody special now. This is amazing. This is incredible. What can I do? Can I shoot laser beams? Can I fly?" I'm like, "Well, your power is that you can explode." And he's like, "That's cool. I can blow stuff up like Gambit." And they're like, "No, like you explode and then you're dead. Like that's it." So like he can never ever use his power.
Oh.
He's a one and done.
Yeah, he's a one and done,
Okay.
but he's one of them, you know. So like it's cool because he gets to be part of the tribe, but by the same token, he can do nothing. Like he can't go into a fight any more than he could have before he was a mutant. You know? And yeah, it's just really analytical. Again, it makes fun of itself. It was a riot of a read. Every time a new issue came out, it was like a great day. I would just run home and read it because it's like, you know, and yeah, since Marvel's doing all this other big production stuff with, they're doing another Civil War. So there's like these big projects they're working on that are like, you know, the headlines, and I feel like this one might just slip through the cracks, but it's a really good book. So X-Men, worst X-Men ever.
Man, like a little story like that, they could have slipped that into Apocalypse, like like a little poor kid that can't use his mutant powers, and Apocalypse is like, hey, I can make it so you can use it as much as you want.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and blow up New York, you know?
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. That concludes Comic Talk with Wes. Okay, so let's start talking about what's bound to happen, the impending 4K Blu-ray evolution. Our fearless leader, Mr. Bryan, had quite a few thoughts, so I'll cover his. He has become a new disciple of 4K, made a sizable investment. He said, it's fantastic from the wide colors to the more immersive audio. I can walk up to the TV and see no deterioration in the image. The pixels are where it's at.
Pixels of
Yes, pixels like the movie, exactly. A little background, Brian, he got himself a 4K Blu-ray TV, a 4K player, he upgraded his speakers, cables, he is officially a 4K person, so he's the authority. And I asked him, will it replace standard Blu-ray?
No.
According to Jordan, he said no, but Brian says it's already outsold what Blu-ray was selling when it first came out. So it's already improving.
Let's see those numbers. I don't believe it.
So are they releasing Blu-ray and Blu-ray 4K, or are they going to start to phase out and then only do 4K?
Well,
'Cause that would...
that's kind of what I'm wondering. I mean, the standard Blu-rays are still running strong. They only started recently releasing 4K. It's an additional kind of thing. Because nobody owns a 4K player right now. They
Right.
can't just negate that. But yeah, I don't know. Because to me it feels like HD DVD kind of thing. And I'm just wondering, like, is everybody just going to drop a bunch of cash to upgrade their whole system for a new format? Because standard Blu-ray is pretty great. I've seen some 4K and it's astounding. It feels like the person's in your room. Depends on how comfortable you are.
It also depends on what you're watching.
Well, the guys
I've
do.
got to go buy some porn. 4K.
That does exist.
Where can you find it, and what's the price differential between like a Blu-ray and a Blu-ray 4K?
4K is like $30.
Yeah. Which I guess is kind of the same.
Blu-ray's like
But there's a huge upgrade cost. You have to upgrade your TV and
Yeah.
your player.
Well, the player that Brian got is like $400, and the TV you got a deal. I don't want
it's
to
like
tell him.
2300.
So,
Yeah. It was
he made a sizable investment. Let's just say.
So, but it won't work on just regular flat
No,
screen.
but it is reverse compatible, so you can watch Blu-rays,
Uh-huh.
DVDs,
VHS.
VHS. So that's a good thing.
Betamax.
Yeah, I'm interested. Oh, and it looks like Brian's going to be handling all the 4K Blu-rays, which makes sense because he's set up for it.
I want a 4K so I can just play DVDs on it. Pan and scan.
Oh my god. Oh, music stuff. So I assume we're all familiar with Rage Against the Machine here.
Well, Phil's having indigestion.
There's a new super group that just came out called Prophets of Rage, which features the original guitar, bass, and drummer of Rage Against the Machine, plus Chuck D from Public Enemy and Be Real from Cypress Hill. Which sounds great, But I haven't heard any of the original stuff, but I heard a few of the covers, the Rage Against the Machine covers, and it just doesn't have Zach's voice. You know, these two guys, like, they rap at an octave lower than the dude, so it's like sleep now in the fire.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't have the intensity like a crazy screaming little Mexican running around the game. So
Audio Slave 2 is what it should be called, right?
not even.
No, it's like some weird hybrid. Like,
Because
I've heard some of their.
Like, and they're doing covers though. Of,
No, they've got
Oh,
original
yeah,
stuff.
they have
but
original
just like
stuff.
Audio Slave did some of Rage's music here and there. Their Prophets of Rage is gonna have their original albums and the original music, but live they'll play Rage Against the Machine songs as you do. But yeah, it's not gonna be like Audio Slave 2 because Audio Slave was like, you know, kind of like grungy, had that kind of classic rock style. This is more of like, it seems like late '90s rap rock again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I even heard about it as a concept, I'm like, this is a terrible idea. This is not going to work.
I love Public Enemy and I love Cypress Hill still. I mean, early Cypress Hill, but like, yeah, I just don't. This is a very strange.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you can like, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
there's a, you know, like I like Cheerios, I like orange juice, I don't like orange juice. It doesn't always work like that, and like Zach and Tom had that synergistic thing that like they struck gold when they had that, and they're both incredibly talented. Tom's done some amazing stuff on his own too, and I'm glad that he's still making music. I want to listen to it, but like to try to emulate what they were able to do together, it's just, you know, that's not going to be a successful endeavor.
I really don't know about that. I wish. And Zach's kind of like retreated into his own underground thing. I can never find any of his like side music anywhere.
The One Day as a Lion.
Yeah, One Day is a Lion.
Yeah, it's like one song. Like, give me an album.
Five. But
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Then you're right.
Like,
Like,
so
he's-
disappointing because you want so much.
Oh
more.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
And it was good. It was,
Yeah.
I talked to you were the best drummers out there. But anyways,
Yeah, I probably won't go see him live. I might check him out on YouTube or something. But yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see. Brian brought up the music thing. Let's see. Oh, there's a new album from Machine Head called "Is There Anybody Out There?" I'm not a huge Machine Head fan. I feel like they kind of just flowed with the trends as they moved. There's never, yeah, pretty much. Nothing about them really ever stood out. Yeah, about it.
So when they're asking, is there anybody out there for them?
Yeah, I didn't even know they were still around. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's an easy answer.
I'm glad they're still doing something though. So, any reviews we got coming up? Anybody on the horizon?
I've got one, yeah.
Get that one.
Yeah, so back in the land of comic books, Star Wars has released issue 1 of The Force Awakens, written by Chuck Wendig.
Nice.
You would think so. I was so thrilled to pick this up. I was really looking forward to it, and I'll spell it all out in the review. I'm gonna try to. I'll definitely have it up this week. But with a title like Star Wars and an author like Wendig, and The Force Awakens, everything's there to have this be an incredible book,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of fell short of the mark. So,
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'll have that up. So check it out.
Where can they find such a review?
WhySoBlue.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff coming up. I'll just talk about a couple of them. Most recently, coming out August 23rd on Blu-ray is Narcos, the story of Pablo Escobar, his rise to power. It doesn't really follow him from a kid all the way through his adult life, which I appreciate because we don't need the friggin' early episode 1 version of Narcos. We just need to know when he became a
episode
man.
1 version of anything.
How did he become Pablo Escobar?
the pod races, right?
Exactly, yeah.
He hates sand, doesn't he?
He loves cocaine. So I've seen it on Netflix and I'll probably watch it again and on Blu-ray again. It starts right when he's getting into, he's got his operation going, but he hasn't become massive as he is, and it just shows how he basically ruled Colombia and the government was afraid of him, the army was afraid of him, and he just did whatever he wanted. He would like murder sections of the freaking country, and there was nothing they could do about it because he like had everything under control. Everybody was in his wallet, but he also positioned himself as like this like martyr Jesus figure where he would actually give money to the poor and disenfranchised, and he tried to run for office. He was like, I'm going to change things, but he just wanted to control more things and distribute more coke and drugs, and kill more people and spread his empire into America. And it details everything, including this American cop who comes to Colombia to try to fight the drug trade, and it just shows you where and how the drug problem is, and it makes you think about where it really isn't. So,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I definitely agree with that. I saw it as well, and like it, because everybody knows that Pablo Escobar was the coke guy. Like that's common knowledge, but this really like it informs you a lot. And I to the best of my knowledge, they did a good job of staying true to the actual events as they happen. And
I did talk to a couple of Spanish-speaking folks, and they said the translation wasn't quite accurate.
Huh.
But other than that, it's pretty solid.
He had such like a simple, I guess, rule or method to control what he did, and it was like gold or lead.
Yeah.
And it was like either you can do what I want you to, and you'll get paid a lot. And he did pay people a lot,
yeah.
Or I'll kill you. And like he followed through. He's like, you can choose. You can either be bribed, or if you don't, I'll just kill you. And he would, and just like,
and not just you and your whole family.
Yeah,
and
so
friends.
like, it was real simple, but very effective.
Yeah. What else is going on? Oh, same August 23rd on Blu-ray is the remake of Roots, the 1977 classic is being remade. It's being released on the History Channel and coming out on Blu-ray. I saw a little bit of a trailer. Seems pretty cool. I'm pretty set on the 1977 one, but I showed the old one to my wife, and she couldn't wrap her head around just how 70s it is. So a reboot might be in order.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of on the fence about it too because I'm really sick of like all the remakes, like especially when they were successful in the first place.
Yeah.
Like it's a cherished property. It's Roots kind of stand alone.
Yeah, it's groundbreaking.
Yeah, so like to say we're gonna do it again, just, like my knee-jerk reaction was like I don't want you to do that. I don't want to see that. But given like the zeitgeist and what's happening in America, like I think more exposure to like Black history is not a bad thing, and especially if it's more modernized, so that somebody that has is watching the 77 version is like, oh, this is too old, I can't get into it. Then that might be good. And there's like a whole generation that Roots wasn't new to them; it was just always around. So this would be like a new thing. So
Absolutely.
from that point of view, I can see why.
What do you think of Snoop Dogg is apparently boycotting it?
Snoop Dogg boycotted it?
He said that there's so much happening in modern times that we should be focusing on what's happening in today's world.
Snoop Dogg's a funny guy. I mean, there's always something happening now, but if you forget the past, you're doomed to repeat past mistakes. He's just a silly rapper. At the end of the day, like he's a legend in rap music and American music in general. Like he paved the way for many people. But at the end of the day, he's just a rapper.
Yeah, he's not a pundit. He's not like.
He's not even a historian. Like I wonder if he's even seen Roots, like the original one.
I think he makes a point, but to boycott it, I think, defeats the purpose of the other.
Right, like if they're gonna do it regardless, then
instead he should be like inspired to like
make your own thing, bro.
produce something.
Yeah, he can fund it.
Stop making reggae albums,
right?
Yeah.
Snoop line.
One day is a Snoop line.
Oh my God, the best crossover ever.
Back to music stuff. Has anybody heard the Eddie Murphy Snoop Dogg song?
No.
It's amazing.
Where's it from?
Like maybe 2 years ago, maybe.
Oh.
It's very little backstory on Eddie Murphy. He has a music career.
Yes.
Party all the time.
Yeah,
Oh my
he
God.
worked with Rick James and a bunch of other people, and he's trying to, or he tried, I don't know, he comes in and out of music, and he decided to do a reggae album concurrently with Snoop's reggae phase of Snoop Lion, and look it up on YouTube. It's Snoop Dogg and Eddie Murphy. No, I think it's an Eddie Murphy song featuring Snoop Dogg, and he's got a whole reggae band. It's great. It's hilariously great. So, yeah. Any other reviews coming up? Criterion such.
When we get them.
No, we get them. So yeah, we got Criterion stuff coming soon. So stay tuned to wisolu.com for that. Anything else?
I know you said we didn't want to recap too much, but Suicide Squad is coming, and I am stoked.
Suicide Squad, yeah. That could be the redeeming factor for the DC universe.
They need a win, man. They need
They
something.
really do.
Suppose the director's cut of Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah, I've seen little clips of that. I'm probably gonna see that as soon as I can.
You've seen the whole thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it improved the film?
It improves. The pacing's better, and it has some scenes that should have been in the theatrical cut, like when the Senate blows up. In the director's cut, it shows Superman actually helping people, which it's like a quick moment. I don't know why they took it out, but it still has the same problems, like the Martha problem, and it still has like weird pacing issues, and Doomsday isn't any better, and they still don't talk during the big battle.
Is the whole Lois Lane side plot any better?
No, but you get Jenna Malone, and
I thought they expanded on like the whole KGB's concept.
a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, I heard like they explained how he set up Superman to make it look like he killed people.
It's still stupid though. It still doesn't make sense. Like
He shot him?
most people would look at that and just dismiss it. There's something else. Oh yeah, where the film really drops the ball is that whole montage where Superman is saving people, and it's just very sad. It's this very quiet, very depressing moment where Superman's saving people and it should be heroic, but you keep hearing voiceovers like, oh, who's this Superman? How all these commentators are discussing how terrible Superman is while he's saving all these people, and it should be a rousing moment, and it's not in either version, and that should have been like the turning point for this Superman character.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like they're trying to show the other side of the argument. Like, the pro-Superman people are like...
Yeah, we saw that in Man of Steel. We see that in the first half of Batman v Superman. Like, there should come a point where tables turn.
Well, yeah, but they're showing the both sides of the argument where there are people who are pro-Superman and people who are
You barely
anti.
see any pro-Superman in that movie.
That was him saving those people and pulling the shit. That was pro.
But it's like in the film, it should be a rousing moment.
Like
Cinematically, it should be a moment where you're like, yes, yeah, this is amazing, and it's not. It's depressing. It's not a happy. It's not even meant to be
It
rousing.
should be rather. It's like the whole concept of that movie is to break Superman down, and like I hate Superman.
Well, yeah, and then they kill him. Yeah, they really break him down. They finish the job in that movie.
For like 30 seconds, and they're like, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's like last Nolan Batman.
What?
Like, there's
Yeah,
no
for a few minutes in the
joy in the film, which I
Granted, true.
think there should have been.
So it took a pretty bad film, but this special release, special edition.
But it does patch things up.
So
Like,
it improves it.
it does. It does. It's still not great, but it's violent. Like Batman like cuts some guy's hand off in the
Did you think
big battle.
it warranted the R rating though? Or was
No.
that just a marketing?
It is marketing.
I mean-
It doesn't need that already.
The Batman fight scene in the warehouse alone is pretty violent. Like,
It
there's-
didn't need to be. The theatrical cut was just as effective.
I guess, but I like the violence. I like seeing, like, when he throws that big crate at that guy, and he slams him against the wall, and his head just opens up in the back. I like that.
But you don't really see
It
it.
doesn't really
Yeah,
open
it's just-
up. It's just like some minor, like, someone at a computer was like, add some blood here.
Yeah,
exactly.
The good old sci-fi movie or asylum grade digital blood stuff. No, it wasn't quite Asylum grade.
I didn't like that scene because as an adamant Batman fan, any even slight suggestion that Batman is responsible for killing anyone is just fundamentally wrong. In fact, the whole point of Batman is that he doesn't kill people, and you got him literally throwing a huge crate, and like he said, whether it opens up or not, there's a huge bunch of blood, and the guy's going to be either dead or brain dead after this, and it's just, I mean, I'm all for seeing him snapping limbs and stuff, I'm all for it, you know, but to even suggest that he could be responsible for the deaths of anyone, it's just, it was upsetting. I mean, I'm still going to buy the Ultimate Edition when it comes out, on Blu-ray and all that, but...
And it shows a scene in prison with one of the guys who he branded, and it's so brutal. The guy's like walking around the yard, and this other guy comes up to him and just starts stabbing him like over and over and over, and then goes on for way too long. And I'm like, holy, this is a superhero film. This is it's like the Oz.
But like, to get back to your point about Batman killing people, I kind of like the idea because I've wrestled with the idea of like a person goes out to stop people who are hell bent on killing people and keep getting out of Arkham and wherever he puts them, and like at the end of the day, how many times are you gonna let this person like massacre these people and butcher these people before you just end it? And I feel like eventually he's just like something made him snap. Jason Todd, and he's like, I'm done.
No, and I thought that was a very cool part about Batman vs Superman is you see him he's seen too much.
Yeah.
He's lost too much, and it's really starting to wear on him. But it's like that's what rallies you to him is that no matter all he's lost and his parents, his friends, family, and he has no love interest because he can't keep a girlfriend. I don't know why. He's a billionaire. But, you know, it's just like, he's gone through all of this hardship in his life, and it doesn't make him change his one rule that he just doesn't kill people. And it's like, that's what makes him so cool to me, is that he has this one value that he refuses to break. And so seeing him, you know, just like that, it was disappointing. I felt it was definitely cool to see a very darker version of Batman, because Christopher Nolan's films had definitely stepped it up. It's definitely different than Tim Burton's film, you know, but it was still acceptable to me. And then I just don't like the idea of him killing people.
Yeah.
Oh, and you see Ben Affleck's butt in the shower. Like,
Love it.
Okay.
Love
You
everything
see
about
that
it.
butt. He's the R rating. You need more Alfred as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Alfred's butt?
No. Alfred washing the
Alfred and
gotta
Ben
put some
Affleck's
shine
butt
on
in the
it.
shower together.
Oh, God.
What do you guys think of the concept of Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel are in the same universe as Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney?
Oh,
Well, think about it. Like, he goes through all of those things. Like, in the first two Batman movies, side note, Superman kills people in the Superman movies. You know, he does. In the first two Batman movies, he kills people. I think the third one. Like, the second one, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, put the ball in the guy.
Yeah, and dumps him in the sewer, and he blows up like confetti. It works. You connect it, like, he just gets more and more violent. It gets weird in Batman vs. Batman and Robin, but
The best Batman movie.
exactly.
That's the Robin Nichols one.
Yeah.
I like Batman Returns. It just feels like a superhero fairy tale. That's what I like about it.
Right on. Any other thoughts?
I was just gonna say, any audiophiles out there, there's the double-sided vinyl release of Frankenhooker and Basket Case 2 just came out this week. So,
And it's on vinyl?
yeah, there's 500 copies on the bloody red marbled Basket Case side, and then there's a purple marbled for Frankenhooker. So, but they give both soundtracks, regardless of your choice of color.
Okay.
From ship to shore.
Okay. Do you know where people can find it?
Oh yeah, ship to shore record company. So.
Shiptoshore.com?
Mm-hmm.
.edu.
Shoot, I don't know. They're on Stored in Me too. So.
Google it.
Yeah.
Google it. All right then, we're gonna wrap things up. I've been Sean.
America.
Jarrett.
I'm Wes.
Bill.
Ellen.
Can I go home? I want my tea.
This is the Why So Blue podcast. Find us at
Hello.
whysoblue.com.